TJM TV. TJM TV. TJM TV.
Welcome to TJM TV Daily News Update, your one-stop channel for everything news and gist happening all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time this video got to you. And if this is your first time of seeing any of our videos, please don't forget to go a step further, like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be one of the first persons to know whenever we drop a new video. Now let's take you straight up to the main news.
Do not give the returned Benin artifacts to OBASEKI. His great-grandfather is the reason why they were stolen in the first place. Many Benin curators, historians, leaders, and lawyers have said that the stolen artifacts which are to be returned to Nigeria should be returned to the palace of the Oba of Benin and not to any museum that the government intends to build in a separate place which is not within the confines of the Oba of Benin Palace. Since the German government promised to return the stolen Benin artifacts to Nigeria in 2022, there have been a lot of controversies as to where those artifacts should be kept. Many Benin historians and leaders have said that since the artifacts were stolen from the palace of the Oba of Benin in 1897 by the Europeans, when the German government wants to return them, they should be returned to the palace of the Oba of Benin. But the governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, has proposed that the stolen artifact be returned and placed in a museum that will be built by the state government in conjunction with a private firm. But the Oba of Benin has rejected the proposal of Governor Godwin Obaseki and insisted that the stolen artifacts be returned to the palace, as this was the wishes of his father, who was king before him. And since that the artifacts were taken from the palace of the Oba of Benin during the British invasion of the Benin Kingdom in 1897. During a press briefing by the monarch, he said that he had called the meeting on the matter of the Benin artifacts in Europe, which are to be returned to the country. He said, "I'm sure you have heard and read in the recent times. You may also have heard about the recent activities of a group of individuals who incorporated a company since January 2020 called Legacy Restoration Trust Limited." He said, while anticipating the return of the looted artifacts from Europe, "I want to know that attempts to divert the destination or the right of custody of the artifact is not in the interest of the people of Benin Kingdom, to whom the palace of the Oba of Benin provides leadership. The looted artifacts awaiting repatriation from Europe are the cultural heritage of the Benin Kingdom, created by our ancestors and forefathers within the traditional norms and rights of the kingdom." The Oba of Benin also went ahead to thank the present governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, for his concern and for joining the struggle and showing commitment to retrieve the stolen heritage of the Benin people from Europe, but has said that the federal government should not hand over the returned artifacts to the governor of Edo State. He has said that the artifacts were looted from the Benin Kingdom in 1897, and advocacy and demands for the return of these artifacts has been going on for a very long time. He also made it very clear that these artifacts were not the property of the state government or any private corporate entity that is not a creation of the Benin Kingdom. He said the right and only legitimate destination for the artifacts to be returned, as already pronounced by his father, is under the aegis of the Benin Royal Museum, which will be sited within the precincts of the palace of the Oba of Benin, from where they were looted, and also the proper traditional institution that is also the custodian of all the cultural heritage of the Benin Kingdom. The monarch then went ahead and called on the federal government to take custody of these artifacts upon their return to Nigeria on behalf of the palace. until the Benin Royal Museum is ready for their collection, and it stated that under no circumstances should the custody of the age-old artifacts be handed to any privately contravened entity like the Legacy Restoration Trust, which the government of Edo State intends to collaborate with to build a museum. Also, some leaders, historians, lawyers, and top officials in the Benin Kingdom have joined their voices with the voice of the monarch of the Benin Kingdom, OBASEKI, II, to say that every returned artifact should be given back to the palace where it was gotten from. In one of the statements, one of the leaders noted that it was very irresponsible for the Nigerian government to remove the teaching of history from the school curriculum. He also said that the Benin has a very good museum in front of the palace, which is a national museum in Benin City. And he said that the government should be serious and bring back the teachings of histories to school. He said, if citizens do not know about their past, how do you intend to plan their future? Chief Michael Ozehome also said that by the grace of God, he believed that everything will be sorted out and the artifacts will be returned to the rightful owners. In another statement, Chief Ekato Osawaru, who is the president of the Benin Resonance Group and also the secretary of the same group, Chief Asunde, has also said that the governor had mirrored the infractions of his grandfather, Ago OBASEKI. They also allege that the governor had betrayed the confidence of the Benin people just like his great-great-grandfather did after enjoying the generosity and kindness of Oba Ovarome, only to connive with foreign invaders to lead the British troops in 1897 through the back door into the Benin Kingdom. They've also said that Ago OBASEKI tried with other people to remove the Oba from the seat, and when they couldn't do that, they went ahead to lead the British through the back door to invade the kingdom, burn the palace, and steal many cultural artifacts from the palace. The acting head of Department International Studies and Diplomacy of the Benin Dawusa University, Mr. Mike Okeme, has also said that the state government has no right to lay claims on the artifacts which are about to be returned to Benin Kingdom. He said that those who produced this artifact did so for the Oba free of charge, and that they also did whatever the Oba desired and created things to beautify the Benin Kingdom, and as such looted artifacts should be returned back to the palace of the Oba of Benin. Mr. Okemi also noted that during the time when the British invaded the Benin Kingdom, that there was nothing like the Bendel State or Edo State or the Midwestern region, that what was obtainable then was just the Oba of Benin, who was the voice and the leader of the Benin people. Also speaking, Professor Frank Ikponwosa, who is the head of Department History and International Studies at the University of Benin, has said that the items belongs to the Oba of Benin and it is only right that they be returned to the palace. He said they were never properties of the government and they were looted from the palace. That if the state government wants to come into the picture in trying to return the artifact back to Benin, it will have to do that in consultation with the palace and the elders. That the kingdom has to say what they want to be done with the items, and the state government will support whatsoever idea that the palace is bringing. Some of the Benin leaders have also backed Oba Eware II on his decision that every returned artifact be brought back to the palace. Edonwoyi Ogiegbahe, who is the Enoge of Egbahe, Upper Siloko, has said that all those artifacts be returned back to their original owner and they must be returned back to the palace of the Oba of Benin. He said in 1938, one of those artifacts was returned back to the palace of the Oba of Benin, although he did not witness that. He was told about it by his father. But he said that in 2014, he was present when one of the great-grandchildren of the white men who invaded the palace of the Oba of Benin in 1897 came back to the palace to return some of the stolen artifacts, stating that they were troubled and they decided that the right thing to do was to bring back the stolen artifacts to its rightful owner. And so he added that the ones that Germany intends to return, over 1,000 pieces of stolen artifacts from the Benin Kingdom, should be returned to the rightful owner and no other person but the Oba of Benin and to the palace. They should not be diverted to any other place. Adding his voice, the former governor of Edo State, Mr. Lucky Imasue, has also said that it was a very good thing that European countries, especially Germany, Poland, and others, have decided to return back the stolen artifacts. He noted that there is no controversy that the stolen artifacts were looted from the Benin Kingdom and the palace especially, and they should be brought back to the kingdom. The palace of the Oba of Benin already has a proposal, and there is a land available where a new museum will be built, and has called on the federal government to hold on to the artifact and not give it to the state government led by Governor Godwin OBASEKI until the palace is ready with its museum where they will keep it. Mr. Maswe also said that the private firm Legacy Restoration would not be allowed to be in charge of the responsibility of receiving and managing these artifacts which were made by the forefathers of the Benin Kingdom. As a matter of fact, he said it is unbelievable and unacceptable, and the Benin people will not allow the governor to go on with such practice. It is worthy to note that in 1897, the British actually invaded the Benin Royal Court on January 12th, and they carted away with most of its artifacts. Now, some of these artifacts were, shared amongst the soldiers as loot, which some of their great-grandchildren are already returning back to the Benin Kingdom, while others were given to museums. Some of them were sold to other countries, and as such, the artifacts spread wide all over Europe. Most of these artifacts were actually sold in auctions and are still being sold presently, and can be seen in many museums in Europe. The government of Germany has noted that the artifacts will be returned in 2022. So guys, what are your thoughts concerning the return of the Benin artifacts that were stolen long time ago? Should they be returned to the palace of the Oba of Benin, or should Governor Godwin Obaseki be allowed to give these artifacts to private curators who will keep it in their private museum, considering the fact that one of his great grandfather has been indicted in the British invasion of the palace of the Oba of Benin, which took place long ago in 1897. Do not forget, drop your thoughts and comments in the comment section.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us till the end of this video. But before we go, we just want to let you know that we're also on Facebook and on Instagram at TJM TV. Also check out our website at www.tjmtv.news. There we drop news 247 non-stop. Do not forget that you could also place your advert with us here on TJM TV News, and be rest assured that your business will get to the desired market. Well, so we'll come your way again with another edition of TJM TV Daily News Update. I remain your host, Laura Favor.
Yeah.
TJM TV. TJM TV. TJM TV.